So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Jacob, and Jacob is the lead singer, and he also plays guitar on the band Oh Hiroshima. On the band, yes, I think I said album, yeah, Oh Hiroshima, and we're here to talk about the new album which they are going to release on June the 28th, and it's called All Things Shining, and it's out through Pelagic Records. So, first of all, Jacob, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
So,
Thanks for having me, Hector.
no, thank you for agreeing. So, I've been listening to to this new album on repeat. See, so it's one of those albums that I've been listening to from repeat, and you know, I like the band. I listened to the band when I saw the promo. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool band. So on this album, something that I found like different from previous albums, especially the first ones, is like I think the vocals. I don't know. It seems like more vocals are added and they're more immediate on this release. Was this a conscious effort from your part?
Yeah, it was a conscious effort actually, and you're absolutely right. So there's a bit more vocals than previous releases, and I think they're a bit more in the front. So I think it came from when we did the touring of our previous album Myriad. We haven't toured a lot with this band. It's been more of a recording project in the past. But after the pandemic, we've started, to go out and play more shows and so on, and that made us, think different about the songs we had before and what songs we like to play and so on. And a lot of the more enjoyable songs to play live were the ones that had a bit more vocals. So I think that, pushed us in that direction a bit. And you always want to try different things. For like some of our previous albums, I've been more like, no, I just want to, play the guitar and then we'll put some vocals in there. But this time, I felt that I wanted to, work more with vocals, and also a lot of times in the past we've added the vocals last. Like we made the songs first, and then we put some vocals to certain parts where we felt that it would, enhance that part or something. But this time around, some of the parts are written, with vocals in focus. So that definitely affected the album and, that choice.
So yeah, that's a change, but this is the type of band that even without vocals, the music is so beautiful and atmospheric that it's enjoyable. But I think that I like vocals, so yeah, I think vocals add like more layers to it. So take me you. So it's been almost you've been around since almost like 2011, so it's been 13 years now.
Yeah.
So when you and your brother started the band, it was more like you were recording in your houses. Uh, how has much of the way you guys record changed and evolved over the years?
It has changed a lot, actually. In the beginning, this might be a bit confusing because we're a duo now, but when we started the band, it was actually me and it was another guy, our former guitarist Leif. He like started the project and named it and so on. So it was him and me and him in the beginning, and it was just a side project to explore post rock. And then with every like album and release, we've been taking it more and more seriously, and that means also when we had the opportunity to start working with the label and so on, you get more resources. You use that to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
with people who are as good people as possible. And with every album, the band constellation has changed also. So that has made, every recording process different. At one time, we were a full band, 4 people, and then we wrote all the songs together, and we recorded. Everyone had their own instrument, and you recorded your part. For this album and the previous, it's been just me and my brother. So he's been playing the drums and the percussion, and I played, guitars, all the guitars and the bass and the vocals, and then with some help from friends who played some different instruments. So it's changed a lot during the years, definitely.
So the good thing is that you and your brother get along.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's some kind of proof that we're
Yeah,
still
because
around.
usually when there's rock bands, if they don't get, like you think of Oasis,
Yeah, sure, sure.
where they hated each
No,
other, but
nothing like that
yeah,
yet.
it's you guys
No,
like
no,
each
yeah.
other. Uh, so for this album, the one of the singles and the album opener, Wild Iris, I just think it's a great song, and I love the guitars, the atmosphere. It really reminds me of like a lot of I don't know why I got like vibes also from like a band like Fries in some of like the vocal delivery. So tell me a little bit about that song. And I read that you were saying that that song like it felt like a very immediate with the vocals and like a very different from what you've done in the past. So I thought it's interesting that you chose that song to open the new record. So yeah,
Yeah, I think, yeah, sure. Yeah, I think we wanted to kind of make a statement with, right away that, hit the listener with something new and fresh right at the start. And we wanted to, in the past, like a lot of post-rock bands before us, you make maybe this long, slow build up as a first song or even have some kind of intro song, but we wanted to, flip that and have something that was more in your face at the beginning. So it was a very conscious choice to have it as the first song. And the song in itself, actually, like the parts with the vocals, like the verses and the bridge, they're actually from an old song that I wrote. We're on a short hiatus with Oh Hiroshima, and I started, like a short-lived solo project. It was kind of a woven hand inspired project, and I had like a song with those two parts in it. But then, that I did like one show, three people showed up. I never recorded anything, and I had that song that I really liked, so I took those parts out from it, and then I made like the rest of the song around that, um, because I felt like I could make it into a Oh Hiroshima song. And there's also like this kind of hardcore, almost breakdown part with like dissonant guitars and so on, that
yeah.
kind of music that I grew up with. And yeah, it felt very, I really enjoyed writing that song, and it felt like we wanted to yeah, kind of make a statement with having that song as the first one.
Yeah, with an album opener, you want to grab people's attentions and
Sure.
keep them hooked. So it's good that you got to basically like you had parts from a solo album that you were doing stuff and that you can reuse it and use it and make a new song, and now it's gonna be heard by more people. So three people showed up.
Yeah, yeah, it was like, I think maybe 9 months or something where we were on like a hiatus. And, I always had to have some kind of musical project going. And then a friend of mine, he was booking bands for a small festival outside Örebro where I live, and he said, "Why don't you, you want to come and play?" And I said, "Yeah, that's perfect." And I have a deadline for, making some kind of songs. So I just brought along some friends, actually, some member from Hiroshima back then, and some other guys, and we just, rehearsed 5 songs or something and played at the festival. I think actually like maybe 10 people showed up, but
10 people sounds
that
better.
that was it. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
had that song and I really liked those parts, so I felt it was, felt a bit of a letdown to, just throw it away. So I'm glad I could reuse it.
Well, I think that's a good thing, and maybe a good thing for other bands, people that maybe there's a song that doesn't make sense and you retake it years later and give it new life. So yeah, never
Sure.
never throw away material.
No, no.
You can recycle some things unless you didn't like them in the beginning.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's interesting. So the album as a whole feels like an experience. I almost felt like every song like float into each other. I really like the atmosphere that the band creates in the record, and I really like the singing. I like it when bands sing, and they're not afraid to sing. Like, and it's not a bad thing. So I was reading a little bit about the themes on this record because there's like a lot of broad themes. But like for you, like when you started like writing this material for this record, like did you have themes in mind that you wanted to tackle?
Not really. Usually when I write the lyrics and you know also there's like song titles and so on, and when you name the album, it's like a process where these different things kind of impact each other, and you're working maybe with the lyrics, and then you have thoughts, and it's almost always like in the end where you kind of see the red thread through
Mm-hmm.
the project, and you see, oh, this is what I've been writing about, and you can put down song titles and title for the album that you feel kind of connected, because I never write um, like albums with a theme in mind beforehand, but usually you find afterwards that, oh, these are the kind of subjects that I've been working with in the lyrics. And for this album, I think a lot of the lyrics revolve around getting older. I'm 37, and
You're
you
young,
know,
man.
yeah, I know, I
I'm gonna
know.
be 47.
Yeah, I always say to people, guess my age and add 10 years and you'll get it right, something. But just things where you feel like life gets a bit gray, and you lose kind of the color and the spark. The world doesn't feel like a magical place anymore, and you get a bit cynical and so on. And so a lot of the songs kind of revolve around, longing for that youthful spark, or that feeling of mystery, and or when you look at the world and the things in it and so on. But also, that it's also a good thing, to grow up, and you lose some of your maybe, black and white views on things, and there's
Yeah.
also, like this youthful or like radical feelings or actions, they can also be very destructive. So it's kind of, I'm kind of exploring that push and pull between, wanting to like burn for something, but also you have this feeling that, things are always very complicated, and yeah.
I think like when you get older, you get nostalgic for things you love when you were like in your teens and growing up, and you you get like that old man syndrome where you're like, not everything sucks now, nothing is as good as it used to be, and I think it happens to everyone. Like you get like for example with music, sometimes the music you can at least I like to listen to a lot of music and new music, but I always gravitate to the bands I loved growing up in the 90s. It's like I'll still maybe you in the beginning of the 2000s,
Yeah,
but
sure.
like the things that growing up are the things that usually like uh shape you in a way, like
Mm.
your personality and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, so it's something that I think everyone can relate to. But I like the title because it's called All Things Shining. So it's like, it feels like kind of hopeful too, because not people be like, oh, this sounds like a very depressive record. And no, I think it's more of like there's a longing for something, but there's also
Sure.
hope. And I think the title says that. So for you, when you're choosing an album title, how do you go about it, especially for this one?
Yeah, it's, you try to find something that you feel, I mean, first of all, just a good title. I have like this long list in my phone with just, I write down names all the time, like that could be titles for songs or albums. And then usually when I have like a song, I flicker through that list, and, oh, that might be something. And I put some stuff together. So I'm kind of always working on potential song titles and album titles. And this was actually, I kind of took it from a book that deals with kind of the same themes. I hadn't actually read the book before I recorded the album, so it's not like inspired by that content, but I just felt it was fitting, because a lot of the lyrics, as you say, it's about that struggle, but
Mhm.
the title kind of, it's what I long for. I long to see, the ordinary mundane things of life, to, I mean, the spark, and make them shine, and have the world be that kind of place. And I think, you know, it's just it's not just, you know, as an individual growing older. I think this is something on a like a societal level as well that has happened during, I mean, the last hundreds of years, that we have gone through this change, you know, where the world isn't like this mystical place, you know, that you want to explore. We feel like you have everything under control and you can explain, I mean, how everything works, and yeah, it's kind of lost its spark for all of us, I think, in some kind of way. So I think that was made it a fitting title.
Yeah, it is, and you have two other singles, and one dropped like a few days ago. You have Secret Youth and Deluge, and Secret Youth. I really enjoyed that one because it feels like it's like what we've been talking about, like longing for youth. But I found it interesting title. Can you elaborate a little bit of more of what that song is about?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of, you know, like the lyrics are kind of abstract in that song, but to me, they're all like the things I write about is like symbols for I mean, on the one side, I mean, the older, more mature, maybe a bit more cynical, and, you know, side of you, and the other side's this, you know, more radical and youthful side of you, and that push and pull. So that's like what the lyrics are about, you know. And I just felt that that would be like I think it was just the title I had written before, and I felt this fits well into this, you know, kind of, you know, you hide away that youthfulness, but I think, I mean, sometimes you say that like as you grow older, every like age is still in you. Like you don't like leave your 20-year-old or 30-year-old or 15-year-old self behind. They're like part of you, and you know, I think that's very true. So maybe that was something I kind of brought to the title as well.
Yeah, and the album Closer is really interesting. Memorabilia Main, uh, which I thought is interesting because it's all talking about memories, and it's a long song. It's one of the
Yeah, yeah.
longest songs on the record. So that one seems like it's all about like remembering maybe stuff from your youth, like I don't know about you, but you know, you remember like video games that you used to play, stuff like that. For you, which memorabilia like inspired you in this track?
I don't think I have like anything specific in mind, but it's definitely, you know, a bit about that kind of nostalgia, or even kind of losing nostalgia, you know, that you kind of feel that you're not really in contact with that side of you anymore. Um, so I think that also was like just a fitting. I just always, it's important for me to, you know, like the word in itself when I put a title. So
Yeah.
that's always a big part of it, and I just thought that I would like a nice word to use for that song, and it always, you know, it also connects to like the kind of the lyrics and the themes about, you know, thinking back on your life and the things maybe that matter, but also, you know, kind of being in a place where you feel a bit lost maybe about who you are and where you're from and where you're heading and so on. So
Yeah, and I feel like the way you write lyrics, they're the type of lyrics that are very like they're not easy to they're not like cookie cutter to comprehend. You know, they're lyrics that you can interpret them a different way. But I think that's the genius of lyrics like that because to me it can mean something else, and to you it can mean something else. And do you like that type of like lyrics that are that way? That you know, there's some bands that write some lyrics that you're like, yes, I can totally, and you can totally see where it's going. But with Oh Hiroshima, uh, it's that kind of like atmospheric, almost type of like mysterious that the lyrics can mean something very differently to anyone. Do you like that approach with lyrics?
yeah, I think so. You know, bands that I enjoy and that I listen to and that I like, they often employ like a similar style of lyrics. So I'm definitely influenced by that in different ways. And I think from the beginning with this band also, it felt fitting to have that kind of lyrics. I
Mhm.
mean, I think it would be like weird to have two concrete things, you know. So I think that kind of always been with me. But I've taken like the lyrics more and more seriously, especially from like the previous album, and with this album, I've worked a lot on like the lyrics a lot more, and you know, put more thought into it and so on. And it's kind of like, you know, abstract painting in some way,
Yeah.
where you can, you know, you're trying to say something that you can't really say, or I mean, it's a lot of the things that I'm writing about. Maybe I'm not, you know, I haven't thought them through. I'm not like finished with these thoughts. It's just feelings and things that I think about. So I can't really say anything concrete at the moment. So I just try, you know, to put my emotions in words and somehow, and you know, uh, yeah, kind of make abstract paintings within a certain theme. That's how I think about the lyrics. Sometimes they will be more like concrete. I think especially like on the Wild Iris, and they're kind of like the verses there are kind of concrete. I think the whole lyrics and the song, like what I
Yeah,
mean,
that song in
what I say.
particular, yeah, it's more straightforward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was kind of new for me, at least with Oh Hiroshima. In other like bands and stuff I made, I've worked with that kind of lyrics more. But it felt fitting on this record to be a little bit more actually straightforward, even if it's still, you know, a bit abstract.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I want to show the album artwork, which is beautiful artwork, by the way. So here it is. It's, you know, it feels very Japanese, especially the
Oh, yeah.
picture there. So tell me a little bit about this artwork and what it represents for you.
Sure. It was just, you know, I wanted to kind of find the artwork early in the process. So I don't really know anybody that can make this kind of artwork. So every time we made an album, I had to, you know, go out and look for people, try to find someone. And we've used different people for every album. And I kind of like that because then you get a bit different styles and so on. So I actually just went on Instagram, you know, and started scrolling to find, and I found like this guy who had like artwork for sale, and I contacted him. His name's Wilson Trudeau or something like that. And I just he had this artwork already, so it wasn't like made for the album in particular.
No, it's
But
it's really beautiful and striking. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, it hit me right away when I saw it, and I knew that would be like a fitting title. And I think the songs weren't even, you know, a lot of the songs weren't finished yet. We were like in the writing process. So I think maybe like the album cover somehow maybe influenced the music as well. It's usually the other way around.
No, I was gonna tell you, like when I look at this cover and I was listening to the album, I'm like, the music sounds like what I'm seeing in the cover. Like it totally fits. Uh,
Yeah, I think so
uh,
too. It's like the inner storm, and you know, like I like the orange thing there. It's a bit like a flame or something colorful growing out from this, you know, sea that's raging, you know. So I felt it was really fitting for what we've been working with in regards to themes and so on. So yeah, I love it as well.
no, it's a beautiful album artwork, and it goes with the music. And something that I like about your band is that it's post rock. I would say like alternative. There's shoegaze elements to your music. There's so many different styles of elements to the music of Oh Hiroshima that I like it because I think when a band can experiment with different sounds, to me it's more interesting than something that is like purely something all the time. So yeah, I think that gives the band a lot of like palette for like different people to get into Oh Hiroshima. So once the album is out, you know, it's out in a few weeks on June the 28th. What are the plans that you have right now with when you release this album?
Well, We just announced the tour like a couple of weeks ago, so we'll be doing a European tour in December. We also we're playing Pelagic Fest. It's our new record label, Pelagic Records. They celebrate
That's a
50
great
years of
record
label.
label. So congrats on that.
Yeah. We're so happy to be working with them, and it's a lot of great bands there. And they're gonna get together like a lot of bands from the label to do a 2-day festival in August. So we'll be playing there as well. So really looking forward, to take some of these songs live and play them. And then, I mean, for me, as soon as the record is finished, I want to start with the next one, keep the momentum going. And I mean, that's the most fun part about doing music is writing it.
No, yeah,
So
totally agree. And playing it live, and I'm sure this is gonna sound great live. I must tell you, I really enjoyed this record a lot. Like, from
thanks.
front to finish, it's great. I like the singing, the atmosphere, the music, and it's like the type of record that you can like get lost in, like in the music, like really in. It's not a casual listen record. You got to take time to listen to it, and with headphones, I'm sure it will sound great. Like just headphones, and obviously people can pre-order. You're gonna have it on vinyl. I'll put the links for people to pre-order that vinyl from Pelagic Records. So before I let you go, Jake, I'm gonna ask you a questions about the album. I actually sometimes ask questions like, on this album, which song is your favorite and why? And which song was the hardest to put together?
Good questions. Favorite song? I think maybe it might be Wild Iris, actually. I'm just happy about how that whole song, how we were able to fit it together. I think the flow is really nice, and also it's a, I mean, nice mixture of different kinds of music that I listen to. So I'm very happy to be able to bring that kind of song into this band, to showcase more of who I am, to express more sides of myself. So that one, but also I like Deluge a lot.
That's a great one, yeah.
Just
The
because,
latest single,
yeah, the latest single, because it stands out, I think, a lot from what we've done before. Also, it's kind of direct, and the whole vibe of the song is a bit different than what we've done before. It's a bit more, a little bit more minimalistic, and the elements we used, both the cello and some in keyboards, and so I'm very happy with it was a more experimental song for us, but I like how that turned out as well. So I'd say
Awesome.
those two songs. And then the hardest one to put together, let's see, I think maybe that was the second song from the album.
Holiness Movement.
Yeah, Wholeness Movement.
That's one of my favorites, actually, from the
Oh
record.
yeah, I like it too a lot. But to get we worked with it a lot. It changed a lot from like the first. It was a totally different idea from the beginning, and there was actually like two different song ideas that we managed to merge together, and that's always a challenge. I really don't like it when it's too obvious that you've written two songs that you put together. Sometimes it's kind of easy to you just let the chord ring out and then
Yeah.
something entirely different starts. I don't like that. I want the song to feel like a whole. That's important to me, and so we had to work a lot to get that feeling for that song, but I think it worked out in the end. So
No, it worked out great. It's a great track. So, Jacob, I want to thank you, for taking some time of your day to chat with me here on the couch about Oh Hiroshima and the new album that's coming out on June 28th. So, people, All Things Shining out on June 28th. If you like post rock, if you like shoegaze, alternative, if you like all those type of bands, check them out, because great album is their 5th release out on Pelagic Records. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.